Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We'll just wait for a few seconds to get yourself settled in for this informative and interactive webinar that we'll be presenting to you today. There's going to be several housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded, so in case if you have to step out, answer a phone call, or take down some additional notes, you'll be able to have the feedback of the webinar through our YouTube channel, so you could touch base with it as well. In addition, we'll be emailing you the presentation as well. So right there, you'll be able to tie everything together, see the full picture, and along with our contact information and how we could assist with your business needs. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, by all means, I strongly encourage you to put it in the Q&A portal, so that throughout the webinar, we'll be more than happy to answer the respective questions. Introduce yourselves. What's your business? How long have you been in business? There's a good opportunity for you to network and learn how you'll be able to collaborate together in the greater good of the community. In addition, you should be receiving a poll, so we'll be able to provide additional webinars and tech and informational resources to assist with your small business needs. So once again, we're here to help you. So anything that we could do to assist you, like I said, we're family, and we'll be more than happy to assist you with any way we can. In addition, this is a great opportunity to highlight the Miami Foundation and JP Morgan Chase to put in this great informative partnership with Prospera. It's called the Building Prosperity Initiative. It creates the collaborative ecosystem from different business organizations throughout the community to assist the small businesses here in Miami-Dade County. A brief description of what is the Florida SBDC at FIU. We are funded by the SBA, and we have 28 specialized business consultants that can assist at no cost and is confidential services. If you're looking for marketing assistance, if you're looking for government contracting, access to capital, we have specialized consultants that can assist with your business needs. We're the local SBDC center for businesses are physically located here in Miami-Dade throughout Monroe County. But if your business is located elsewhere outside the region, by all means, connect with me. I'll be more than happy to connect you with your local SBDC center. In addition, I have a great colleague of mine, Soledad Jacobson from Prospera, and she'll be providing you some additional information of Prospera and how they could assist you with your business needs.
Thank you so much, Jesus, for that introduction. It's a pleasure for me to be joining us to this webinar today. As you mentioned, the Building Prosperity Initiative, we really thank both the Miami Foundation and the JP Morgan Chase for this support for both organizations, the SBDC with Prospera, to continue to support entrepreneurs and small business owners. As I always mention, something that is very unique about Miami, I think, is the strong ecosystem that there is here to help all the needs for any entrepreneur or small business owner. I know that sometimes when you're starting your business, or even during the pandemic, it might be a very lonely journey for them. So that's why we're here to support them. Very briefly about the organization I represent. Prospera, we are a nonprofit organization that we support either businesses that want to start their business, or if you're willing to scale up your business, we do it through 4 different pillars of services. One, we provide educational webinars in Spanish. So if there is any Spanish speaker today, you're more than welcome to also join our webinar sessions. We also provide a business consulting services where we like to learn more about your business and identify the different opportunities and threats for your business, so we can set a roadmap to continue to support you in all the different areas of their business. The third pillar of service that we do have is the access to capital. Although Prospera is not a financial institution, we are here to help you to at least to qualify for, first of all, to do a little bit of a deep analysis on the financials of your business to see if you would pre-qualify for a loan. With different financial institutions, we have in place really strong relations, both with the traditional institutions and also with the CDFIs, the micro lending institutions. And then the fourth pillar of services that we do have, and it's very unique about Prospera, is our business grant program. So let's say if you need a very specialized legal assessment, you need to sit with a legal advisor, or if you're looking for a business plan for your business or a marketing plan, that some of the grants that we do have available, you will first need to make an appointment with our consultations and see if you would pre-qualify. So again, I would like to thank you, Jesus, for your time to having us again. And again, thanks the Miami Foundation and JP Morgan Chase to support both organizations.
Perfect. Thank you, Soledad. And without further ado, I know that y'all attended the webinar not to listen to us talk, but for Adriana to present this interactive webinar. But like I said, if there's any particular questions throughout the presentation, don't hesitate in the Q&A. Soledad will input her information, my information, but at the same time, like I'll be able to moderate on your behalf and provide the examples of your business, how it could be valuable for your needs at the same token. So without further ado, Adriana, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jesus. Thank you, Soledad. Well, I'm not going to talk, you already heard about the sponsors and also about the programs that we have. Today, we're going to talk about the Business Reinvention Kit. And as Jesus said, there are different SBDCs across Florida and 1,300 across the USA. So we are, anything you need, we're happy to help you. So why to talk about the reinvention? And when I was preparing the presentation today, I remember that we started talking about this topic at the beginning of the pandemic. And it's amazing that after 2 years, I'm still talking about it. And the reason is because we are not only crossing what was left out of COVID, but also the fourth industrial revolution. So it is very, very important that you understand that we will continue pivoting our businesses. I would love for all of you, I know we have about 20 people, if you can give me in what business you are, so I can give you more specific examples. So you can put it in the chat. So I have been thinking about the clients that I've had since COVID started in 2020, and it was really interesting. Initially, a lot of companies had to do changes. Then I think we all started buying a lot of products during COVID, and then the services industries had to reinvent themselves. And then with the supply chain, now a lot of companies that provide products are reinventing themselves. So this will continue, and we will see why. So thank you for letting me know in which industry you are. So this is what McKinsey described what was going to happen after leaving COVID. But the reality, these 5 horizons are always what happened every time there is a big change. So the first thing is we have to go and resolve very quickly. Then we got the resilience. We managed to find the cash to survive, and we closed, and that was all we could do. Then we returned and we start working in different ways. Then we reimagine what could be our business, and we are still in the reimagination. I don't believe we're already in the reform stage. And the reason I'm saying this is because still the regulatory and competitive environment is still shifting. So imagine that we're still in number 4. So that's how much we have advanced, but there is some path that we need to continue working. So anytime there is a change in the world, most of them have come through the industrial revolutions. In our case, the most common industrial revolution we remember is the first industrial revolution, because it's in most of a lot of series and programs and movies. But in fact, we have crossed already 4th industrial revolutions. So the first one was about all these, the steam machine and all we can do. Then the next one was about electricity and gas, the way we know it, gasoline, the way we know it. And the third one, we all lived it, that it was about computers and cell phones. And so we live it, and we already crossed it. And our life changed drastically about that. And then we are in the 4th one. That is about electric cars, autonomous cars, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, many things, robotics, all of that. And it's not that that's coming. All of those things have been already invented. In fact, what they expect is in the next 5 years, all of these technologies will be really implemented. So it's not only it's 5 to 10, but especially in the first 5. So everything is changing. So we need really to be aware. Probably now when you go outside, you see probably in places you used to pay, now there is a machine. The other day I went to the lab to have some blood tests and there is nobody attending you. You just get off your car and somebody opens the door and it's your turn. So nobody was there, just a computer. So it's changing and we are rebuilding, but we will be in the other side and business will continue being successful, but we need to reinvent. So what happened when the world shakes? Of course, COVID was very visible for us, but in reality, that's what happens every time the world changes. The first one is there's new space. So if you think the way we did things changed with COVID, the way things will change in space, and when all this climate change gets closer, we feel it closer. Because even though it's here, sometimes we don't feel it that closer. It would change the space. It would change how we handle things, how we move in our own space. The perception also changed. One thing that did COVID, and every change generates that, is that things that we never thought we could do, suddenly we have to do it, no matter what. So even if we have never bought, for instance, online, with COVID, we had to jump and buy online. So a lot of our fears change when we have drastic changes. In this case, especially, it was interesting because COVID show us how the world changed in 1 year, what it was supposed to change in about 3 years. So imagine how that situation really speed up things, and the way things were speed up were because of the change in beliefs. Then finally, the values. We realized, for instance, we never thought we could build relationships with meetings online. Now we are not worried. If somebody says, yeah, let's work via Zoom, yes, it will be nice to meet one day. But most probably we want to meet just to do the networking. But the work is fine. Yes, we can perfectly work via Zoom. So in the world, there are 2 ways the world shakes. So every time the world changes, there are 2 ways. And those 2 ways are triggers, things that happen in an instant, and shifts, things that happen over time. So for instance, shift will be the climate change. It's something that is happening over time. Trigger will be COVID or a hurricane, something that changes what is happening in a minute. So when a change comes, in the case of COVID, it was a trigger. It was so fast that the expectations change. The needs change. What we needed change, but also what it really changed was also our expectations, how we wanted to do things, how we expected now things to work out. When those things happen, then there's this window that opens about reinvention, where new visions appear, new business models, products, services, experience, and campaigns. So it really opens this door to reinvent. If we think many of the businesses that we use nowadays that we think are so innovative, like Airbnb, Uber, all of those came out of the crisis in 2008. Because of course we had a lot of assets, but we didn't know how to use it. Nobody was renting for long term. So we reinvent ourselves. So COVID, like any change, because what I want you to think of this presentation is, yes, COVID passed, but it's already impacting us. I still see it's amazing. This year, I have received almost as many questions about pivoting as when I started when the pandemic started. A lot of businesses are feeling the pressure to change. So it could be the tail of COVID, but also I think because of the world is changing so much, the technology, the way we can have access to things. There are many trends that are changing, like this intermediation. So we can now have access to products directly to the source. So there are many things that are changing. The screens now, screenification, there's now a lot of places, and we read less and we will watch more videos. So there are many, many things that are changing. So I want you to not only think about COVID, but all the trends. If you want to understand more about the trends, I will encourage you to Google, like your industry, for instance, janitorial services, trends 2025. So always when you are looking at trends, put a year ahead, 2025 or 2030, it may give you new trends. Otherwise, it will give you what is going to happen in the next year. So when these forces take us out of place, for instance, COVID, but let's say now the supply chain. So when things of this matter change, either our companies accelerate and the work is really intensified, or maybe we need to create a parallel business while we survive the change, or we have to totally reinvent. At the beginning of COVID, we saw a lot of businesses that really grew like crazy. Some others created a parallel business, and some had to reinvent. And as I say, originally the business were the ones who were more on hold, and we were consuming more products. Then in 2021, things changed again. So then the businesses were doing better, hotels and all of that. But products, the supply chain was a mess. So it was an issue. Okay, so now we need to go with the flow. We need to understand, and the world will continue moving and will continue changing until we end the fourth industrial revolution. That we don't know how long it's going to be. It could be 5, 10 years. So whenever you have to reinvent your business, and if you are here, is because you are questioning yourselves why that you need to do something different. That's probably the reason you are in this presentation. So there, I have divided into 7 steps that you need to think about it. Because reinventing a business is not about, oh, I do very well, I'm an expert on this, I could do this similar, it's in the same area. No, you really need to do it strategically. You really need to think where you are going and how you're going to do it. So let's start then with the 7 steps. So the first step is to understand the environment. I think for the time that I have talked, you already saw that there are a lot of changes. So these changes, it's very important that we really understand what is happening, how it's changing. I always recommend you look at 4 big buckets. The first one is the economy. How it's changing, what is the situation, what are the opportunities maybe that governments or local governments are opening. Okay, so you want to do that. Then the industry you are. If you are in catering business, what is happening with the catering business? If you work in you have a restaurant or you have a store, or you are in manufacturing, what type within the manufacturing that you have, how is that industry changing? What are the trends? What is changing? How is becoming more efficient? Who are your competitors? It's super important that that we really understand what are your competitors. What is that they are doing? Are they new entrants? It's amazing every day, new and new cases of companies start. In fact, we see a lot with Soledad, a lot of new companies that come every single day with amazing ideas that could be competitors of many others. So it's important that, that you understand your industry. Then the market. Our clients really changed during COVID and continue changing because we change our behaviors, especially our behavior toward the digital world. But we also have to think that as the digital technologies advance, then we will also, the creativity and the concept of ideas is the part that will become very important for clients. So we move from, we're moving from the digital era to the idea era. So it's very important that you understand that the world is changing. It's changing very fast. And then the trends, as I say, just Google, put your industry and Google about your specific industry, how it's gonna change. For instance, publishing, that's changing a lot. The med spa, so how we're gonna work with these new market needs. People get stressed maybe for different things. Before we got stressed because we were going out too much. Now we get stressed because we are in a home with the family all the time. So to understand that is where you can offer, for instance, the case of well-being, a better thing. Working from home is really tough. So how can we bring well-being? But we need to understand the trends, the market, the industry, and the economy to really bring those ideas. Then once you are aware of your environment, please, 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 again, do an analysis of your customer needs. Our customers have changed a lot during COVID, then when after COVID, and then we continue changing. Because we don't know if another wave is coming, first of all. Second, because things need to accommodate to the new needs, the new behaviors, the new technologies, the new expectations. So the reality is, after all these things that have happened in the last 2 years, we have the same customers, but the needs are different. Our needs have changed. In fact, I was listening today at Marketplace, and they were saying that after many years of not being, most of homes were being sold were smaller homes. Now people are looking for bigger homes because they are living with the whole family and the whole structure in their homes. So that was interesting. That the latest trade show that is in Chicago, the trend was about bigger homes with more technology, more environmental friendly homes. So it was very, very interesting. So yes, all the customer needs change, and we need to reevaluate. I recommend every year. When we are looking at our customers, what we need to know are their pains and their gains. Customers move because of the pains they feel. So we buy insurance because of fear. We may even fix our home because we want others to see our beautiful home. So it's kind of a pain. The gain, yeah, it's beautiful. Maybe the kitchen is easier to use, the gain, but the pain is, oh, I feel bad because my friends come and don't see a really good kitchen. Or we go to a restaurant because the pain is we get tired of cooking the same, or you just don't want to cook that day. The gain is go to a restaurant and try this amazing meal. The pain is I don't know how to use a specific technology. The gain is when you teach me, I can do much more. So always get in the shoes of your customer and really identify the pains and the gains. Most of the serial entrepreneurs, what they look at for the pains, companies with high pains that can be solved by that product or service. So always be aware of the pains and the gains. So if you sell directly to your consumer, probably you are close to your consumer, which you can ask your consumer, you can use surveys to understand them better. There are many ways. If you don't sell direct to the consumer, I recommend you not only understand your client, but the clients of your client. So if you sell to other business, understand what are the changes that your business, the buyer is going through, the other business, but also the clients of that business. Because that will give you a better insights. Okay, so by now we have done the analyzed environment, really deeply understood our clients. Then we're going to recognize the business capabilities. Not all of us do the same. So let's think of 3 models of restaurants that are totally different. If I talk about McDonald's, it's economies of scale. So we need to produce a lot of hamburgers to reduce the price. But if I talk about a famous chef, Chef Ramsay, he can charge a lot because he's in the innovation side of businesses, so he can charge premium. But if I look at the overall of restaurants, they are in a model that is closer to the consumer. That is really how they reach better the consumer. Let's think of any Italian restaurant. We go there because they are around us. They're close to our home. The food feels like the food that I like to eat at home. And they're friendly. They have things that are related to me. So they are closer to the consumer. In that case, they are looking more for economies of scope. So they have to use better the assets to do what they have to do. So always recognize in which business and the capabilities that you have. One way to do is really think, what are the strengths of my business and the weakness? What are the things that I'm really good at and the things that I'm not good at? Once you have done that, the first step, and this for me is the key step for the doing reinvention, is the identifying the invention gap. So when you have already, if you have done a step 2 and 3, you have the material ready to do this exercise. If you skip step 2, understanding the consumer, and step 3, that was your capabilities, you won't be able to do this exercise properly. If you think of on the left hand side of the chart, if you have done a proper analysis on your customer, you will know what are the new needs of that customer and what are not a need anymore. So how they have changed. If you did the exercise the step 3 very well, you will know what are your strengths and your weaknesses. So we want to pivot, we want to use something that we can provide for the new needs, but that we are strong. That's the best quadrant, because it's something we can change now and the market is ready. Okay, so we are very good at this. This is a new need. If we can do this, great. If you have a strength, but there is no need, then don't even waste your time. You will be just wasting resources. And this quadrant, the strengths with not a need, is very common. Many times we say, oh, you know what? If I just make cakes, I'm going to do cupcakes. But maybe my market is just, I don't know, mature ladies that they don't want cupcakes. They are not going to eat the cupcake with the hand and biting the cupcake. They just want the slice. So why would I do that if my market is not interested on that? It's not a need for them. Okay, so you really need to understand what is a need and how they want to, the need that they have and a capability that I have. The second best quadrant is when there is a need. I'm not as strong on that, but I can build the capability. So that's something that I can build. And if I build my capabilities, then I can supply to that needs. That means that if I build a capability, that will be a strength. And then I can, since there is a need, I will be in the lower right-hand side quadrant. And if there is not a need and there is a weakness, it's a waste of time. Honestly, don't even do it. Okay, so this is very important, but you need to do all the steps before to do this right. And then you have a higher chance to pivot and be in the right place. Once you have your new idea, you need to write your value proposition, because your clients are not used to hear from you about this new idea. They know you with the old concept. So you need to write your value proposition. Value proposition is why your clients buy your products and services. So you need to make clear, okay, this is my product and this is my client, and what is the pain I'm going to solve and the gain that I'm going to bring for that client. Like our, I don't know, new packages help clients that want to deliver wrap presents because they don't have time and they want to look good to their people, their care. So always make sure you have a clear product, a clear client, the pain that you're solving, and the gain that you will provide. That's the new value proposition. You need to have a short and defined. If it takes you more than 30 seconds to describe the new product or service, that means that you don't have a new value proposition ready. If I need to ask questions, that means that is not clear enough. So work a lot on your value proposition. So you already know the environment, you know your client, you know your capabilities, you have found what are the areas you want to focus, you have a new value proposition. So then you have to fine tune your invention. That means you have to do it even better. There are 10 ways to reinvent and make your product or your service even better. The first one is the profit model. Is there a way I can charge in a different way? Is there a way, maybe it can be a subscription model. Maybe when you buy it, you get points, and with the points you can buy things. Maybe you can charge a flat fee and then additional if you use more. There are many ways. So profit model is a way to even elevate your new pivot. Network. You can take your idea and really find how can I network and work with others that could be interested. So if I'm developing a product for pets, where else can I find other people in my network that are also connected with those customers? So how can I network better? Who can, maybe suppliers that can help me do some things better for my new product, for instance. A structure. Do I need to change my structure? Do I need to improve the way I organize my company? Do I need to bring technology to really produce faster what I want or offer a better service? Process. Is there something in the process I need to change? So I'm inventing something new. So maybe if it's a new service, what is the process that I need to think about it? Or is a new product? Please, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. Okay. Product performance is when I want my product to even work better. So can I do a survey to really improve the performance of my product, the current idea? How can I make it even better and more attractive? Then product system. Product system is like the shampoo and conditioner. So how can what other products are attached to my product? Can I sell that I can sell separate but together at the same time? So when we buy shampoo and conditioner, maybe I want the shampoo and conditioner, or maybe I just want the shampoo, or maybe I just want the conditioner, but I'm giving the option to buy them together. Service. How can I improve the service? Yesterday I was talking to someone in IT industry, and this person was describing how many companies offer these services, but the quality of the service, they offer IT services, but the quality wasn't that good. And this person said to me, imagine if I could find someone that was really good, if people make money just with a so-so company, imagine a good one. So yes, service is a way that you can retain and connect with clients. And many products and services, we want to make sure that you are connected for the long term, and service is an amazing way to do that. Channels. How can I use channels to even take my product or service to the next level? How can they connect in a different way? So channels is not only that I'm in LinkedIn, social media, and I have a website, but what is the way that my clients want to be connected? How can I make it easier? I don't know if you have done lately, I have a pet, for instance, and every time I have to fill out the complaint, the paperwork for the insurance, I think, oh my God, why cannot? It's complex every time. You need to print the paper, sign the paper. I'm like, oh my God, they should create a channel that makes it easy for you. Go to the vet upload the paperwork, and then you do something. I mean, how can you make it easier? Then the brand, definitely. If whatever idea you have pivoted, you have to think of the brand. What is the look and feel? Are people understanding what is it about? How that image really connects with the product and services? How that image really helps the client to understand very quickly what you do and what is it for. Finally, customer engagement. How are you doing that customer engagement with this new pivot, with this new reinvention? How can you really help them understand what you do? How can you make it easier for them to know you, to learn more about you, to buy from you, to live the experience of your product or service? So there are 10 that you can really go deeper. Finally, you need to think about your action plan, because this is beautiful, 7 steps, but if you don't plan it, you will never get to the right place. Sometimes the world is divided in dreamers and doers. So we need to make sure that all these amazing dreams we're building, then they see the light. So a way to do it is start making, you can make a 3-month plan, a 6-month plan, or a 12-month plan, depending how organized you are and how much you follow through. If it's difficult for you, I'll stick just with the 3-month plan. So think of the 3 most difficult things you want to change, that you have to do to get your reinvention to where you want it to be. So imagine like you are in the highway and you see 3 big rocks. So what are those 3 things you really need to change to get this new reinvention? So maybe I need to change something in production. Maybe I need to change something in my marketing. Maybe I need to hire someone. I don't know. So what are these 3 things that you need to change? And for each of these rocks that you see there, what are the actions I have to do? What are 3 things I need to do to get there? So split it into smaller pieces. So if you think all the action 1s will be month 1, all the action 2s will be month 2, and all the actions 3 will be month 3. So organize and put it in your calendar. If you use your cell phone, already block, put the messages so you know what you have to be achieving every time. If you like more a physical thing, just create a chart and put it in your desk, or put it in your screen, in the computer screen, so you see it every day. Another way, if this is by tasks. What are the 3 major tasks that you need to do, and you divide it into little actions? Or another way to do it is, maybe I have 3 months left. So in this case will be March, April, and May. So what do I need to do in March? What are 3 actions I need to do in March, 3 that I need to do in April, and 3 that I need to do in May? You may be asking yourselves, why 3? Why not 5? Well, when you are doing a business, you know that it's not easy to take time to plan. So we need to plan in a simple way, things that are achievable. Because if you think, yeah, you will be doing 3 actions for month 1, 3 for month 2, and 3 for month 3. So these are the 7 steps. It's about critical thinking. It's about organizing your ideas and taking decisions based on the data that you have collected. So you need to do very well to understand the business environment, because that's giving you the data to understand what is happening around you. 2 is to be aware of your customer needs. So that's also data that you need to know. What do they need now? Then recognize your business capabilities. What is what I'm really good at that makes me unique and different? And how can I leverage that? 4, then identify the invention gap, the chart that I explained to you. Not all ideas should be done. If there is a clear need and I'm really good at, yes. If it's a really big need, I don't have all the skills, build them. But otherwise, if there is no need, don't do it. Write a really strong value proposition so you can really engage your customers. Then explore and go deeper. What else can I do for this idea? And we gave 10 ideas on how to innovate and go deeper. And finally, create an action plan. So I would say that we, in this 2 years and this period, we have given a second chance to create the best version of our business, to make this world a better place for our clients, the clients and the clients of our clients, and our employees, our investors, our community. So let's do well, let's do the things well, let's reinvent a better world. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. I don't know if you have questions about the presentation. I know it's a presentation that has a lot. All of you will get the handouts of the presentation. But I don't know if you have questions. I noticed that we have in catering businesses, beauty supply, restaurant, retail, marketing, consulting, manufacturing, janitorial services, more in technology, different integrations in technology, publishing, spa. So if there is anything, you have a question, let me know. Feel free to ask me.
Yeah, Adrian, I have a question for you. Do you have like any like additional resources that one could benefit to enhance the reinvention? Is it like a business model canvas or the lean startup in terms of the next steps?
Yeah, you can go, then there are other tools you can use, but the first steps, even to do any of the other advanced tools, you need to really understand the environment, your client, and where is that you want to go. There are more advanced tools, but there are more to really understand your business model. These tools are really to understand where can you pivot, and to be focused on the new idea. Try to aim the idea to the right place.
Yeah, because at the same time, like the behaviors of each consumers is completely different. So you know, from you know, your ideal client that you had two or 3 years ago may have changed, and that's susceptible based on, you know, different behaviors or different economies of scale per se.
And it's true. And also what your competitor is doing maybe is not something that you can be successful. You can be successful in something else.
Yep.
Even if it's a similar service.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what you said, like it's the value proposition, that unique fingerprint, or that key to your success. Yes. So,
there are three ways. I could add something. Whenever you want to reach higher revenues, there are three ways. Either in this pivot, you can either sell more to your current clients. Maybe the clients you are helping, you realize they need something new. So you work more with your current clients. You can increase prices always. That's another way to increase revenue streams. Or you sell what you sell, but to a new audience, in which case you really need to understand this new target too.
Yep.
So yes, you have to.
Yeah, like it's always the primary, and then afterwards the secondary markets, and then once you solidify both, boom, how can we go to another market?
But always you have to analyze them. To get data, I will recommend the public libraries are really good sources that we forget to use, but they have amazing databases that you can get a lot of information. And if you are members with the SBDC, for instance, we have some databases with data that we can provide to you. But also if you maybe while we close, I can look for some resources that can be sent, the links with the slides.
Perfect. I have a question. If you're not sure about the need of your product, but have clients currently, how can you measure that?
So sometimes, there are two ways. So usually when you start a business, they start in two ways. Either because you have been paying close attention to the world, and suddenly you see, it's so weird. These people always have the same issue. Nobody has paid attention to that. What can I do? So when you discover something that is needed and nobody has seen it before, I would recommend that you test it with a bigger market. So you really validate the concept. A concept to be strong is not only the idea, but you have to add value added, that concept adds value added to the user, and then that you have a good market. Because if I make sweaters, but my sweater, only my mother and my sisters like them, that's not a market enough to sell my sweaters. So I need to make sure everybody loves my sweaters, or not everybody, but a good group that will be interested in my sweaters. So that's one option, that you find an idea and you wanna validate them. Another is that you already have a product or an idea, but you're still thinking that it's for everyone. It's very important that you really find your niche, especially all of us that are small businesses. We cannot be selling to everyone. That's very expensive. And that's very difficult to do. So we need to really find what are the niche of customers that will be more interested in our products and services. For those of us that come from Latin America, for instance, we are used to the opposite. In our countries, because the market is small, companies tend to do everything. So they sell everything to everyone. But the US is huge. So we need to look for the niche that is buying our products and services. Otherwise, nobody will recognize what we do. If we say to our clients, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, no, they will never get what you do. So you need to be super focused. So if you have an idea, think which niche of clients are really your ideal clients, and talk to them and find them. That will pay off better in the long term.
Yeah, like for example, like if you own a restaurant, obviously you want everyone in Miami to come down to your restaurant, but start with your a 5-mile radius and see what's their behaviors, what's their tendencies. Is it family? Is it more young adults? So, and at the same time in janitorial, it's instead of going for the big businesses, start within your area to keep costs low. Because if you're across town, you know, obviously, I forgot to bring in my supplies, you have to drive back to Miami, so that's lost wages at the same token, in a waste of a day.
Yes, that's true. We have a question. Can a
Yes.
niche or differentiation from competitors come from a company's brand? I'm not exactly clear about the question, but so a niche is when you are able to describe a group of clients. Let's say, for instance, I'm selling to couples that don't have kids. I need to think, where do they live? High chances is they don't live in suburbs, or there's less common that they live in suburbs. Or maybe right now they don't have kids, but they're planning to have kids. So maybe the niche will be for my product, couples with pets, no kids, but that live in cities. And then I have to think, which zip codes do they live? Then what things they used to do, for instance, where is the places they go so I can find them, I can reach them. So the more I know the group that I'm trying to reach, the better it will be. So it's not about the brand, it's about the strategy that you put behind the brand. Sometimes the companies over time, the brand gets the identity of their segment. Sometimes I see a brand and I say, oh yeah, this is the brand that all surfers are using. So it's because the brand already connected so much to that niche that whenever I see somebody using that brand, I realize this is the brand for people that like the beach and to surf. But it's because they reach really the market that works with that image. But the first step is to identify the market so you can connect with your brand, and over time it's like one. So it's an interesting question. Thank you.
Yeah. So
Adriana,
yeah.
Jesus, if I may, I want to emphasize all the information that Adriana just shared today. But please do not wait until another pandemic hits to think about pivoting your business, or maybe some unfortunate situation that come across your business. I think all the resources that you hear today from Adriana, they're really great resources and exercise for you to continue to revisit while you're running your business. As Adriana just mentioned, I know we have seen sometimes it's really hard for business owners to do the rebranding of their image that they have been holding for so many years, but that's part also of pivoting your business as well. So thank you, Adriana, for sharing that information.
I thank you, Soledad. And we work a lot with Soledad. We have many clients in common. So if anything you need, we're here to help you.
Yep.
I see that we have a hand up.
Yes. I have one question. I think this could be Juan's question, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, okay. It's Miss Ruby Mackey. Miss Ruby, if you could input the information in the Q&A, I'll be able to moderate it for you. I have a question. How can a business owner get access to the last U.S. Census demographic info by zip code?
So the census is open for everyone. I know sometimes I have found a lot of people that are really skillful using it, and they tell me they get a lot of information, or sometimes it's difficult. There is, let me see, there is, I think, depending what you do, there is a website, I think it's called niche.com. It's about related to schools, but it tells you about the school and the neighborhood around the school. So it tells you how's the composition of that area. So it may be 2 to 3 zip codes around one school. Let me see if I can find, but otherwise I'll send no, I have to look for the information. I'll look for the information and I'll send it to Jesus so
Yes.
all of you can get it with the presentation. I'll include that one.
And also piggybacking based on the census information, like for example, our business planning consultant, she works a lot with that type of demographic research for the business plan, because that's, it's not for the operations point for the business, but in terms of how to repay back that loan for the business plan, by saying, okay, if I want to start selling these pencils, okay, well, this is my demographic area in terms of how many school-age children are there, if they purchase X amount to yield based on sales in the projections, but the same token, the repayability of that respective loan as well. So,
Yeah,
I recommend you to register at our center, and we could go more in depth of the goals that you want to accomplish, or find that ideal client that you're seeking as well. Because we have a consultant as well that does a competitive analysis. What are you doing versus what your competitors are doing or not doing, and how you'll be able to find that niche clients of yours as well.
Yes, I have placed in the chat. I owe you the niche one. But a lot of links to do trends, to look for trends, and then the market research, some very good links you can use.
And then I have a question. I am building affordable housing, new construction. How do I market my complex to my target population, but the apartments are not built yet?
Yeah, affordable housing, my understanding is that is growing. My question in this case is, are you working with government or are you doing independently? If you are working with government, they have ways to help you market. If you are doing it independently, I will recommend that you partner with realtors that are in that niche. Lately, I found a lot of realtors that are in that niche, that are interested to help people in the for affordable housing, because you need people. In this case, these realtors help them get the credit ready to do it. Another place that you can look is Nova University has a program, I think, in the library called House, if I'm not mistaken. And they help for people that are looking for affordable housing to get ready for how to get the credit, the loan, and all of that. So I hope this is helpful.
Yeah. So also we have sent out the feedback poll, as we want to know if you enjoyed it. Want me to talk more about marketing or Soledad as well. by all means, like I said, we're family. We want to get your feedback on how we could continue providing the additional resources available for your business needs. Like I said, the webinar is being recorded. We will send you the email with the YouTube link, along with today's presentation, the additional links that Adriana has been providing. And like I said, you could follow us on our social media channels. You could definitely tweet at us that you had such a great presenter, a great webinar, great experience, by all means, and we'll like it, we'll retweet it, because at the end of the day, we're here to provide those type of resources to take your business to the next step. So if there's any questions, concerns, don't hesitate. Shoot me an email, and I'll be more than happy to connect it to the appropriate channels for your business needs. So thank you once again, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you at the next webinar. Take care.
Thank you.